Let's get this started.
I've had such a unique pleasure of being able to participate in this class with such interesting and introspective classmates and individuals. As Ernesto said in his presentation, what's learned in this space leaves and allows for us to grow in the real world. One of my largest takeaways from college so far, since I'm halfway through, has been that you're only able to grow to your best potential when you allow yourself to become uncomfortable and you learn from that. This may include stepping outside of your comfort zone, having those tough conversations. I've always seen myself as someone who hasn't strayed away from things that challenge my current mindset or clash with my pre-existing opinions or notions. In life in general, you only get what you put in. Coming to college, you can either maximize your experience by meeting people, creating a network, and picking up extracurricular activities that are going to allow you to practice what you're learning in a real-world setting. It's no question that we live with the impending obstacles of racism, sexism, misogyny, etc. We also live in conjunction with liberation, allyship, and love alike. However, are you really contributing to a greater change if you're merely listening to what you're learning and allowing it to go in one ear and out the other all in one class period? All this ties into the conversation of Tupac Shakur. When we truly break down who he was as a person and a figure, we're left with so many examples of feminist hypermasculinity. It's a funny thing to consider yourself a hip-hop enthusiast or hip-hop artist and also a modern feminist. Can these two things even go hand in hand nowadays? Hip-hop includes some of the most prominent expressions of what most consider to be sexism and blatant misogyny. However, why would you not be able to enjoy this art form as long as you stay somewhat critical of the messages you're digesting in the meantime? If you reject hip-hop completely as an art form due to themes of sexism, it might be wise to reject other literature like television, film, and even philosophy. Tupac's feminist values were brief when looking through the lens of a modern feminist. However, his experiences of low social and economic status and seeing domestic violence play out right before his eyes allowed him to become the artist with a message that we're familiar with today. Can you make the case that Tupac was exhibiting negative forms of sexist slurs, violence, a male-dominant attitude, and overall objectification of the opposite gender? I can't look at you in the eyes and tell you that he never did those things. We aren't perfect. We're actually very, very far from it. Is it even an inherently negative thing to admit that you are a racist yourself? It may just be a product of our environment. Does your environment include incarcerated father, unstable home life, gang violence, ghetto neighborhoods, drugs? I can't answer that for you, only you can. At the end of the day, Tupac was an influential artist with a highly unique voice and skill beyond what most of us are able to comprehend. A dual threat in the eyes of film and music. After all, Tupac did say, "I give a holla to my sisters on welfare. Tupac cares if nobody else cares." He also wrote a song with his mother saying, "A poor single mother on welfare, tell me how you did it, there's no way I can pay you back." Tupac doesn't sugarcoat his words like we're so used to doing nowadays in school and on social media. TikTok's a really good example of this. He doesn't feel the need to apologize on behalf of men or sexism in general either. I don't think he ever felt the need to do that. His message can even be boiled down to, if you're dealing with a gross, unappreciative, and disrespectful man, just leave his ass. Would Tupac be at pro-choice rallies with all of Gen Z, pounding on the door of Congress to pass a bill? Do we think so? Do we really think so? As men, we often feel the need to prove we're a tough guy or hard through the lens of society and the media. And in an attempt to stray away from that and take away the ego, what can I do? Just recognize it? I wrote this small poem to Tupac that I'll format in a text message that I'll eventually send to my close friends and family, and I'll see what they take away from it. I'm strong, but I'm compassionate. I'm loud, but I can listen. I protect myself every day and every moment, but I want what's best for you. I want to be a public figure, but I don't care about fame or numbers. I'm a contradiction of myself, but myself even contradicts that. I'm well-rounded, but when I do my rounds, so is everybody. Those are kind of the things I want to take away from what I've learned and what I've gathered about Tupac nowadays. Yeah, live by what you learn.